Right now, you are staring at a book you should have finished weeks ago. Your syllabus is moving faster than you can keep up, and deep down, you know you are running out of time. You cannot read everything, you cannot take perfect notes, and you cannot keep revising forever. And while you hesitate, someone else is moving ahead. But what if there were a better way? What if you could absorb an entire book in one night without wasting time or forcing yourself through every line? Imagine waking up with clarity, where chapters finally make sense and ideas connect naturally. Imagine walking into your exam knowing you did not study harder, you studied smarter. Most people will never learn this method. Some will not believe it works. But the students who always stay ahead are already using it. So if your exams are close and the pressure is building, pay attention. What you are about to learn can completely change how you study. Before I show you how to absorb a book quickly, you need to understand one painful truth. Your brain is not the problem. Your method is. Most people have been taught to study in the worst possible way. They read line by line, word by word. They highlight everything until the page turns yellow. They write notes they will never read again. Then they wonder why they still forget. That is why chapters feel overwhelming. That is why revision takes forever. But tonight, that changes. Because there is a much better way to work with your brain, even if your exams are close, even if your syllabus feels out of control, and even if you think you are already behind. The first step is the 30-second scan. Most students begin by reading, but strong students often begin by scanning. Your brain cannot absorb something properly if it has never seen the shape of it first. So open the chapter and give yourself only 30 seconds. Scan the headings, the subheadings, the diagrams, the bold terms, and the summary. Do not try to understand everything. Do not try to memorize anything. Just expose your brain to the structure. This wakes up your brain's natural attention system. It starts asking useful questions on its own. What is this chapter about? What matters here? What is likely to show up on the exam? In just 30 seconds, your brain becomes alert. The second step is the big map method. This is the part almost nobody teaches. Your brain remembers structure much better than it remembers isolated sentences. So instead of reading a chapter like a long wall of text, you build a mental map. Not on paper and not in a notebook, in your mind. As you move through each section, ask yourself 3 things. What is the main idea here? What does this connect to? What comes next? You are not trying to store exact wording. You are trying to store relationships. If the chapter is about photosynthesis, for example, do not fixate on memorizing every formal definition. Let your brain remember the sequence instead. Sunlight, chlorophyll, reaction, glucose, oxygen. A flow, not a paragraph. That is the key. Your brain can remember flow much faster than it can remember blocks of text. This is why efficient students can move through a book so quickly. They are not trying to study every sentence equally. They are learning the structure of the chapter first. The third step is the one-line rule. This is where absorption becomes much easier. For every section you read, summarize it in your mind using one line only. Not a paragraph, not a page, just one sharp idea. It could be something like mitochondria is the cell's energy source. Newton's first law means motion stays constant unless something changes it. A recession is a drop in economic activity. Your brain does not like carrying around walls of text, but it can hold on to short hooks very well. Once you build enough of those one-line hooks, the chapter becomes a story your mind can replay quickly. This alone can save a huge amount of study time. The fourth step is the 3-pass reading method. This does not mean reading the same thing 3 identical times. Each pass has a different purpose. The first pass is fast. Aim for about 30% understanding. Read the chapter like you are watching a movie at high speed. Do not stop. Do not reread. Just keep moving. The goal is to get the overall idea. The second pass is slower. Now aim for around 70% understanding. Focus on the important points, the examples, and the diagrams. The goal here is to understand how things connect. The third pass is the most important one. Close the book and try to replay the whole chapter from memory. Walk through the structure, the one-line hooks, and the main flow. If you get stuck, then reopen the book and fix the gap. But do not reopen it before you try. This matters because retrieval is far more powerful than passive reading. That is the moment when you stop merely looking at information and start actually absorbing it. The fifth step is to teach your future self. Sit up straight and imagine that someone just asked you to explain the chapter in 1 minute. Then do it out loud, even if nobody is around. Speak as if you are teaching it to someone else. This activates more than memory. It activates reasoning, language, and long-term retention. That is one reason teachers remember things so well. They are constantly organizing knowledge so they can explain it. When you teach, even to an empty room, your understanding gets stronger. The sixth step is the night lock-in. Before you go to sleep, close your eyes and replay the chapter one more time. Go through the structure, the one-line hooks, and the overall flow from beginning to end. This only takes about a minute. During sleep, your brain starts organizing what you learned and strengthening the patterns you built. That is why you can wake up the next morning with much more clarity than you had the night before. The seventh step is Chapter 2 book conversion. Once you repeat this process across multiple chapters, the whole book starts to feel like one connected system instead of a pile of random information. You scan, map, reduce to one-line hooks, do your 3 passes, teach it back, and lock it in before sleep. After enough chapters, your brain begins to see patterns, not just pages. And when the flow is clear, memory becomes much easier. The eighth step is exam filtering. Absorbing a whole book does not mean treating every line as equally important. During your second pass, keep asking yourself a few questions. Is this asked often? Is this a definition, a formula, a diagram, or a process? Has it shown up in earlier exams? Does this topic carry a lot of weight? If the answer is yes, spend your energy there. If the answer is no, move on. This is not laziness, this is strategy. Strong students are not always smarter, they are often just more selective. The ninth step is the 24-hour fix. The next day, go back through the chapter again, but only through the headings in your mental map. This should take only a few minutes. That short review helps lock the material in much more deeply. One night to absorb it, one quick review the next day to strengthen it. That is often enough to make the material stick far longer than most people expect. The final step is energy and focus control. None of this works well if your attention is weak. So during your study session, work in 25-minute blocks with 5-minute breaks. Keep your phone away from you. Sit upright. Keep water nearby. Avoid heavy food that makes you sleepy. Your brain needs oxygen, stable energy, and quiet. Give it those things, and it will give you much better clarity in return. You may feel late. You may feel like there is no time left. But tonight, you are not reading the old way. You are learning how to absorb. No endless notes, no wasted effort, just focused, efficient study that actually works. You do not need perfect notes or endless hours. You need focus, intention, and the decision to study smarter than everyone else. But this only works if you start now. Not tomorrow, not later, right now. So close this video, open your book, and start, because your next few hours matter more than you think.